So it's important to get set up properly. Here I've carved out a corner of my studio, but you can use your kitchen table. So here I got my supplies: sandpaper, brush, pencils, mechanical pencil, and if that's all you have, that's fine. Something to sharpen your pencils with, a stump, eraser, paper towel, and here I've clipped my drawing board to my sketchbook, and here I'm ready to start copying. See, I have the plate here on the left, and I'm ready to start copying. So here are some of my other copies. The first 4 plates are eyes, noses, mouths, and ears. After the first 4 plates, then it gets more interesting. You get to do hands and arms and feet. So just make sure that your drawing board is always tilted, like you can rest it on your knees, right? So you've got it at an angle, and divide your paper into 12 equal parts. So into thirds first. Just get them even. Doesn't matter if your lines are fuzzy. And then in half. And in half again. And then in half again. Right, so you'll have 12 squares, and you can get an eye in each square. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get your first impression down. So carve out the big shape, just really look at the outer shape, like how much space is that going to take inside your square, and just get your first impression down following those tilts and angles. And don't worry about those level and plumb lines, because those come next. I mean, you'll study those after you get your first impression. So that's my level line. This is my plumb line. And now I can start to reorganize my tilts and angles so that they're relative to those lines. See, I'm keeping my lines really fuzzy, and I'll go in with the eraser and I'll clean them up. So then, once you have those level and tilt lines, you can start to reorganize your tilts and angles relative to those constant lines. The lines of the level and plumb are constant. All the other tilts and angles are relative to those. So you can go in and start to tighten up your drawing. That doesn't mean have sharp lines. So you see here, I'm keeping my lines really fuzzy, and I'm just going over, making a better assessment of where those lines might be. Like you might have like 4 lines in the beginning, thinking like, okay, maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it's here. And you really don't know where those lines are going to be until all the lines are in place. So gradually it starts coming into focus. So here's the first eye, a little bit more cleaned out. What I like to do is I like to rub in the graphite with a paper towel. Just kind of work it in the paper, like that. Once you have something you like, go ahead and stump down the lines. Just push that graphite right into the paper, always looking at the original. Make sure you get those tilts and angles, but you just want to push that graphite into the paper with the stump. Okay, so let's talk about cleaning out. Get your eraser into a tip like this, and you can reorganize the distances between the lines by thinking about the negative space, like how far is it really between these two lines. And you can pounce, tap, 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 like that. And that erases just a teeny weeny little bit without really changing your initial drawing. Get your stump, and always looking at the original, push that graphite right into the paper. You don't want that graphite sitting on top of the paper. You want it to go into the little divots of the paper. I mean, some paper's smoother than others. This is kind of rough. I have Strathmore 11 by 14-inch sketchbook here, and although I really love the paper, it's a little rough. So I like to push that graphite right into the paper. You got to sharpen your pencil every once in a while. You want to keep that tip sharp. Rub it down again. So here I'm going over it one more time, always looking at the original. So what this reminds me of is actually the German philosopher Hegel, George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, and he was born in 1770, died in 1831, and he's famous for having talked about finding the balance, and he says it usually takes about 3 moves before the right balance is achieved. And that's kind of like drawing. It's sort of like you'll draw it, and then you'll erase it, and then you'll reorganize it, and then you'll draw it again, and then you'll erase it, and then you'll kind of draw it again. And the third time that's the charm, right? Because you'll get the quality of the line that you want, and you'll also get the right tilts and angles. So 3 times, go over your drawing 3 times, and it will be perfect. So there's my first one. Just have one done.